explain myself. Cute little habit. Then I realized people committed to misunderstanding you don't need more words. They need distance. So now I move different. I don't answer every call. I don't chase every lie. I don't sit and mess at tables just to prove I'm polite. I don't beg for a seat where the snakes all dine. I built my own damn room and put a lock on mine. I used to cry loud, now I pray low. Used to ask why, now I already know. When they move fake, I move precise. I don't need revenge, I let truth go twice. I learned the hard way, but I learned real well. Some smiles got teeth, some blessings look like hell. Now I keep my peace and protect my name. Same heart, new rules, different game. I move different now. I don't break, I bow out. I don't scream, I write it down. I don't chase, I wear the crown. I move different now. Feet on fire, head in clouds. Heart got scars, but it still beats loud. I don't fold, I don't back down. I don't react, I don't chase, I don't compete. I change the game. I move different now. I move different. I move different. I move different. Built from the wreckage. Don't need permission. I move different. Sharp intuition. Mother on a mission. They should've listened. I see the room before I walk in. Feel the shift before they speak. I know who claps when I'm winning. I know who prays, I get weak. I know fake love by the silence. No real ones by the fight. No darkness, hate's a woman who learned how to carry light. My babies are home, my roots run deep. I don't lose sleep over wolves dressed as sheep. I keep receipts, I keep grace. I keep God in a dangerous place. I ain't bitter, baby, I'm just awake. I learned every lesson they thought I couldn't take. Now I keep my peace and protect my name. Same soul, still spine, different game. I'm all different now. I don't break, I bow out. I don't scream, I write it down. I don't chase, I wear the crown. I'm all different now. Feet on fire, head in clouds. Heart got scarred, but it still beats loud. I don't fold, I don't back down. I don't react, I don't chase, I don't compete. I change the game. I move different now. Different, I move different. Different, I move different. Different. I move different. Quiet steps, sharp vision. Mama's got new intuition. Don't react, don't chase, don't compete. Change the game. I move different. I move different. Don't react, don't chase, don't compete, change the game. Built from fire, raised by pain, came back stronger, changed the game. I used to let people pull me out of my soul. Now I let them talk while I stay in control. I used to mistake loud for being strong. Now I know silence can carry a song. I don't need a spotlight, I don't need a throne. I got 3 little reasons and a kingdom at home. Faith in my chest, fire in my stride. Soft for my babies, warrior outside. Some women shatter and stay on the floor. Some women crawl to the nearest door. Some women rise with blood on their knees. Wash off the dust and become who they need. I was never weak, I was being rebuilt. Now every scar on me looks good and still. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Family first, stay strong. Faith, honor, loyalty, respect. Real life. What comes next? Stand steady, crown heavy. Move different, move different, move different. I move different now. I don't break, I bow out. I don't scream, I write it down. I don't chase, I wear the crown. I move different now. Feet on fire, head in intuition. I'm all different. I used to explain myself. Now I just smile. Because by the time they figure out what I'm doing, I'm already 2 steps ahead. I'm all different.
All right. This is going to be a quick live. And look, I'm really disappointed. And, you know, I guess it's a big news type of thing. Lisa called Hawkins County. Then she called TBI about Ernie. You know, this is the thing. I'm just seeing people using a missing girls case to do what? To do what? What are y'all doing? What are you guys doing? I get clicks and views, and I get proving Ernie wrong, and you know, him doing his crazy shit. I get all that. But there's a little girl missing in the middle of it. And Lisa, okay, you called him. You made sure that you put it out for everybody. You know, there's people who have absolutely talked to Hawkins County, TBI, and even FBI about Mr. Shell. That has not been put out on these YouTube streets, because the conversations that I had with them, I was taking the conversations very seriously. We had some really good conversations. I didn't record them. I didn't need to record them, because it's not about that. It's not about that. It's like you're all playing a game in the name of a missing child. What is wrong with you guys? And this is the thing. If you all know that Ernie is a scam and liar, you guys are just giving him attention over and over and over. You're encouraging people to go watch the scammer, go watch the liar Ernie Shell, right? That is what you guys are doing. That is the truth. That is the absolute truth. And y'all know it. You all know it. What about this little girl? What about this little girl? If you all really want to go over every rot gut thing that Don Wells said, I have it all. I have every rotten thing that Don Wells said could have happened to his daughter. He didn't say he did it to his daughter. People can take it as, did he do those things to his daughter? Oh, well, we don't know. We do not know. And Ernie Shell, this is for you. Why are you threatening Mean Girls or anyone that you're going to call law enforcement on them? You're going to call CPS, and you're going to have all of those kids check for marijuana. You're fucking ignorant. Marijuana is legal in a lot of states now, Ernie. They don't really care much about marijuana. So guess what, Ernie? So what you're saying is, this is what you're saying, that you will lie. You will lie on individuals just to get them in trouble. What for, Ernie? What for? Right? I mean, it's so frustrating for me, you guys. It really is. I fucking don't know anymore. I mean, really. I don't know. Summer just means more than, I don't know. Maybe she means more to me than a lot of other people. I don't know. I am not going to say other people don't care, but I think a lot of you lost your way. You lost your way, and you need to get back to it. If you care, get back to what is important. I said it the other day. He keeps providing me. He keeps proving me right. Always going to online calling people names and lying and threatening people. He's been doing that for years, Carrie. Ernie's been doing that for years. And, you know, it's a shame to me because I can come on here and, you know, talk about things and I barely get any views. But if I come on here going off about Ernie, going off about other people and what they're doing in the name of this child and her brothers and other children, you know, if I'm angry about it, then people love it, right? People love it. Well, I'm really angry about it. I really am. And, you know, a lot of these people that are out here, you know, showing stuff or whatever, there's a lot of you, I want you to know that I've always been nice to. I've always been nice to, that say that you don't cover her case, but you covered her case in the beginning, and you're in my notes. And the notes I have aren't really that kind. But I always said I didn't want to go there because a lot of the nonsense, a lot of the scamming for money, a lot of the bullshit had nothing to do with Summer going missing. Nothing. Now, everybody just loves Marlena coming on and snitching out her fucking dope friends. You know, come on. Come on. And then you guys don't want to give law enforcement credit when law enforcement don't want to deal with your asses anymore. How fucking stupid is it? I've seen it numerous times in this little girl's case that people call Hawkins County or TBI and they're like, oh, hey, I got a YouTube channel. What the fuck does that have to do with Summer Wells missing? I remember one person called Hawkins County, and I can't remember what the fuck they called over, and they were like, what does this have to do with the Summer Wells case? Right? Ernie, this is what I'm going to say. Do I like the shit Ernie's doing? No. Do I like the shit that Ernie is saying? No. But running your mouth on fucking social media is not against the law. It's not against the law. Okay? I'm just going to say that. That is factual, people. That is fact. So this is what I'm going to do, because I think everybody needs to get back on track. And let me tell you guys something. Just because I don't come out here and put out everything that I have in my notes or whatever, doesn't mean I'm stupid. Doesn't mean that I don't know the groundwork in the Summer Wells case. Doesn't mean that I don't have information that, you know, I'm not running out here to get fucking clicks and views over. Because I do. I absolutely do. And I've said this 1,000 times. Even people that I feel like I'm close to on social media, I've never even told them what I have contacted law enforcement and had a conversation with them about. I don't need to. I was doing it for a missing child, not for clicks and fucking views. he does get people riled up. It's just a matter of someone does get hurt. Yeah, I mean, I completely get that, Carrie. I completely get how people are feeling about it. I completely get that. But honestly, if you guys honestly believe that there hasn't been conversations about when Don Wells mentioned a hammer, those conversations were had 4 years ago. 4 years ago. Ernie is just regurgitating shit. You didn't do anything, May May. Why would you think you did something? Oh, thank you, Zena. Thank you, girl. I appreciate that. Thank you for always being supportive, girl. That means a lot. Because I do get frustrated. Oh, thank you, 420. You're a crepper? 420 crepper? You're hiding? Are you the same 420 that come up on my panel? I'm not going to throw you out of here. I'm just asking. But thank you for the jewels. Because we need to get back to what is relevant. What is relevant? I'm not going to throw you out of here, 420. I'm not, girl. You're fine. You're fine. I'm not throwing anybody out of here. So, thank you, Zena. Thank you. No, May May, it's not about you. I think, and it's sad, and I get it. I totally get that people, we want to hear the crazy shit and, hey, Jess, and we want to hear, the chaos. I mean, don't get me wrong. I want to hear it sometimes. I absolutely do. But it's really hard for me when I see individuals that didn't give a fuck in the beginning, right? That absolutely were speaking on Summer's case, but then all of a sudden they're like, no, I'm not talking about that, right? And now they want to, come back into it because of Ernie, right? And I don't care who watches Ernie. I do not care about Ernie Shell. Ernie Shell is blocked on my channel, and he will remain to be blocked on my channel. I do not need fucking Ernie Shell. I really don't. Have no desire to, I don't even want to get to know the guy. What I fucking know about him is bad enough. Bad enough. But what happens is when people get caught up in that chaos, right? And this is hours, you guys. This is one person going live, and then they rotate on to the next person, and then they rotate to the next person. And before you know it, you have sat there for 12 hours in a fucking day listening to the same shit over and over and over. Now, I admit, I have a go-to, and that is Degenerate Lost. That is who if I want to hear something that comes out of Ernie's mouth, I know Degen has got it for real. Nicolene has kind of been covering some different things about Ernie over there. I try to catch that when I can. I have really started to go to channels that I can enjoy it and laugh. And I think a lot of people really need to, absolutely try to do that, but to each their own. To each their own. And I really just, I want to know, this is what I want to know. If I truly, truly, truly start speaking about Summer's case Hey, RJ. Hey, Mr. A. And we start at the very beginning, okay? The very beginning. And we take out the bullshit and we take out the chaos and we take out the, just the nonsense. Is anybody even going to be interested in that? Hey, J-Dub. For real. And honest, I don't mind digging deep. I really don't. They made the trauma genre. Yes, they did. They did. And, I think kind of Ziggy led the way with that in the Summer Wells case. And look, I am not going to sit here and cut down creators who have spoken about Summer's case. I'm not going to do that. This is how I feel. Ziggy and Fred have absolutely put out a lot of different information about individuals from the area, okay? Now, I'm not going to sit here and say it's all true, but I'm not going to demean their characters either, because I've seen many, many people do that. I've seen many people do that. And it's hard for some people because they built their channels speaking about a missing child. They got their numbers up. They got their clicks and views. Then they became monetized, okay? And once they become monetized, they have to keep that facade, the chaos. They have to keep, the topic up there so they can keep that, steady stream of money in. Some of these people, that is how they make a living. That is how they make their money. And let me tell you, I don't care who fucking is like, oh, remain calm. She makes money off of Summer. Yeah, I absolutely do. I absolutely do. Why lie about it? Why lie? And I could sit here and say, oh, well, so-and-so made a lot more money than I did. And I've said that before, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because it got to a point where I seen all of this chaos and all of these lies and just crazy stuff going on. And these people were racking in the fucking money, right? And I'm like, my channel, I try to put out factual information only. And let me say this, how many times does law enforcement have to say to these creators that call them on the phone, right? And put it out on their channel? Go with what law enforcement is saying. We knew. I mean, honestly, who the fuck really thought that Ernie Shell was getting inside information from law enforcement? Y'all need your brain chip checked, okay? Check that brain chip, okay? No way that law enforcement is talking to a criminal, a person who we've seen messed up on substances, right? It's just crazy. Yeah, we do all need money to live, right? I mean, for sure. Oh, no, that's not what I'm saying, Mr. A. That's not what I'm saying, but I appreciate that comment for sure. I mean, look, over here, if you all want to have fulfilling, good conversation about this missing little girl, I will gladly pull out all the stops, right? I mean, honestly, I don't even know if I'll live long enough to write a damn book. I have a social media platform. I can pretty much use it, right, to put what I need to out there, for sure. And I mean, we have been through some of the craziest stuff, you guys. Craziest stuff. But I get tired of, people, well, you don't care about summer because you won't give us what you have. Well, guess what? Oh, thank you. Guess what? You all have never given me anything. You all have never given me anything. Right? I don't need to email anybody. I don't need to text anybody. I have, when I first started my channel, I really thought that I was, having good conversation about the Summer Wells case. And it immediately turned into a fucking shit show, right? I had somebody, who wanted to come and hang out with me on my panel, which I didn't mind, until they were like, let me get a copy of all your notes. And I'm like, why would I do that? That's my work. That is my work. Why would I just hand that to anybody? Right? And it was like, oh, I just want to keep up with what you're talking about. Well, that's called listen to what I'm saying, and you can keep up just fine. I watched other creators, things that they were doing, things what they were saying. And no, I am not really educated in social media or even YouTube, even StreamYard. I mean, I am not that educated in those things. I don't believe a single word. Well, I mean, that's up to individual people. Hey, to Boston's mom. That's up to individual people if they want to believe Ernie or not. The thing about Ernie, and don't get me wrong, I can't stand the guy. It's very few things that he says, but there are a few things when he's talking about trafficking and things like that, that is factual. That is factual. It's the way that he takes and intertwines it in with the fuck shit that messes it all up, right? There's a major difference between people caring about their wallets and talking about Summer, and ones that truly care about what happened to Summer. I agree, RJ. I agree. And, I am real guilty about, I do, when it really starts to get overwhelming for me, and, I just want to, if I could reach through this monitor and fucking snatch somebody's hair, you better believe I would do it. That's how angry I get sometimes. I really do. So, I'm not going to sit here and say that people didn't care or don't care about Summer, but there's a difference between really caring about finding out what happened to her and making up lies. Making up lies. And when Marlena made that comment about the oldest boy, that really, really bothered me. And let me tell you something else. Okay. There's a girl, I still consider her my friend. I told her I had to step back from her because she had made a comment about the oldest boy, and I didn't like it. And I said, you know what? I think that we need to keep our distance from each other for a while. I was not happy about that. So even behind the scenes, I find myself protecting 3 children, 3 boys that did not ask for their sister to go missing, did not ask for a bunch of people to start talking badly about them, start lying about them, start putting them out there in a sexual way. That is disgusting. And I really don't think anybody cared. I really don't think anybody cared. And that was so sad to me. That was so sad to me. It broke my heart. It really did. And I knew then that, I needed to kind of turn things off for a while and, you know, really begin to do what is right by a missing little girl. A missing little girl. I mean, I got to the point where it just seemed like I was talking to the air over here, right? I was just talking to air. That was very disrespectful. He is not the only one that is exposing these things at all. We talked about Dawn making the comment about the hammer years ago. Years ago. Ernie's just regurgitating stuff. The only thing that kind of really pisses me off about Ernie is the fact that he acts like he's trying to find out what happened to Summer. I don't believe he is. I think that he's using it for attention because of the fact that he had a relationship with this little girl's mother. And all he cared about was making another man look bad. That's all he was doing. That was it. That call is being regurgitated for content. I know exactly where the comment came from. I absolutely do. He said it on Smiley's channel, if I remember correctly. And when I get into my notes, I can tell you exactly where he said it. I can tell you exactly where he said it. So, Sage. But, and hey, I'm guilty of getting upset because, I worked very hard on what I have, and I get frustrated too because, and this is the truth, there were things that I would talk about, and I know of one creator. I'm not going to name him. That the minute that I ended my live, he would use something that I said as his content. That's YouTube, though. That is just YouTube, though. The only thing that ever bothered me was I'm like, give me fucking credit. Give me credit for using what I said. That's all I ever asked for real. I mean, don't fucking use my shit and not give me fucking credit. Don't use my words and take them as your own. That's not fair. But then again, that's the way YouTube works. That's just the way it works. For sure. But no, I never felt the need to come on here and record me talking to any law enforcement individual about the Summer Wells case, because I take the case very seriously, right? there had already been 1 million fucking people calling Hawkins County and TBI, even FBI. I'm sure some called the CIA about Ernie Shell. They say the same thing, basically, that they said about Fred. Why are y'all believing these people? Why is everybody believing these people? I mean, for real. Oh, well, that's just Ernie. Ernie's always done that. Ernie's always done that. For sure. And, you know, a lot of these people have paid people to come on their panel and, talk about what they know. I can guarantee you this right now. If you think any of those persons of interest are going to come on a platform and tell on themselves, are you all nuts? Are you all fucking crazy? These people, look, they may be addicts, they may be rock gut people, but and they may not be book smart. These people are street smart. They are street smart. Okay? For real. They're not going to come on here and say, "Yeah, I was in the holler. Actually, I was down on the road and I seen that little girl taken," right? Well, Ernie, I figured that out real quick, Carrie, when he come on my panel and wanted me to give him something. This is what, okay, this is a great example. Ernie Shell comes on my panel because there's a conversation that he had with Don Wells that they cannot find. He says, "Do you have my conversation? Do you have that conversation?" "Yeah, I got a couple of those conversations." "Oh, send it to me so I can use it on my channel." When I told him to fuck off, guess what happened? I was told I don't care about Summer Wells, right? Why do they think they're any different from me? Right? Why? I'm no different than they are. Not at all. They've never even, none of them, let me tell you, they blocked me out years ago. Whatever they call it, froze me out, blocked me out. They did that years ago. Years ago. And I ain't crying about it. I ain't crying about it. That's what kind of people these people are. And some of them did a lot of damage to this little girl's case. A lot of them did. Now, some of them want to come on and be like, "Oh, let me, let me do it differently. Let me see if I can slide right through the fucking community without taking accountability for the fuck shit I did in this case." Right? It's like, "Oh, let's just forget about it." Well, I don't forget about shit. I don't forget nothing. Especially when I wrote a lot of it down. I'm just saying. Right? So, yes, I could get frustrated. I could literally scream and cry sometimes, right? But what good's that gonna do? It ain't gonna do no good. Not at all. I am a human being for sure. Uh, let me see here. Uh, beans all black. Peachy, is that you, girl? I'm not saying it is you. I don't know. But no, if people really want to get serious and have real conversations, I'm not going to sit here and say what Marlena's telling everybody isn't fucking interesting because I mean, she's saying a lot of shit about a lot of people, right? But what people need to remember is when when she says things like, "Oh, I'm fearing for my life," right? Um, no, you're fucking not. No, you're fucking not. Well, I'll have to, stay in jail, right? Which she's saying she ain't in fucking jail. Oh, okay, Bean. Sorry. I was just asking. Um, you know, um, quit fucking talking about people, right? Do you really think someone's going to come on a social media platform and call out another individual and uh, allude to the fact that they're dealers, they're with the mafia, they had something to do with Summer's case? What the fuck? I mean, for real, for real. They need to throw all their asses in jail, if you ask me. Throw them all in fucking jail. For real. And put me in with them so that way I can drive them fucking crazy. These are people that are talking shit about other people when their character absolutely could be called into question, right? Absolutely. Ernie, Marlena, I'm like, for real? Could you imagine them having a baby? Lord Jesus, take the wheel on that. For fuck's sake. I mean, seriously. What would we call it? Scarlina? We could call that baby Scarlina, right? Erlina. Call it Erlina. I mean, it's craziness. My life's in you know in danger. Who the fuck? I mean, who cries about someone like Marlene? Marlene. Oh, that's a good one. Hey, Marlene. Um, who it's who comes on a platform and cries that Ernie Shell is hunting her. He's dangerous. He's hunting me. And then they become best buddies. How the fuck does that work? Oh, yeah, money. Money, money. And honestly, Jody Sue's the only person I've ever had a conversation with over here. And I really didn't have that much of a conversation with her because, look, and I'll say this 1,000 times over, I don't care if Jody hates me. I don't care if Don Wells hates me. I don't care if Candace Bly hates me. I don't care who the fuck hates me. Right? What difference does that make to me? What difference does that make to me, right? None whatsoever. Not everybody's going to love you. I'm just saying. But it's like, come on. Then a good example, and I'm not going to talk bad about Chango. I'm really not. I'm not going to talk bad about Chango. We all know Chango. He came out with the donkey story, right? He mentioned that Steve Fisher showed up to have a conversation or whatever. Actually, he said Steve Fisher pulled up, I guess, at the end of the trailer park, and he went out and, confronted Steve or whatever. I don't blame Steve for going to see for himself, but, if those law enforcement officers pulled up there, so then I watched Chango going everywhere. He was making himself known all across YouTube, right? I mean, I mentioned him a few times, didn't pay that much attention to him really. So then he comes over here. I allow him up on my panel, and he is trying to start a channel. He wasn't getting any recognition from these other YouTubers who had bigger channels. See, that happens when someone goes around and tries to get the attention of all these bigger channels, got more subs, right? And eventually they're not getting that anymore. Guess where they start going? Ding, ding, ding. The smaller channels, right? They start going to the smaller channels. So I let him come up, said, why don't you talk about true crime or whatever? I didn't really know what to say to the guy, but I wasn't going to be mean to him either. And so I don't know what ended up happening to him, but that is just the way it works. That is the way it works. So, I mean, and I do understand too that it's hard to call out Ernie right now without mentioning something that he is trying to put out there as a factual statement, like the hammer, right? Don Wells said, or Candace Wells said, Don unalived Summer with a hammer. I never heard that come out of Candace's mouth. That was Dawn that said something about the hammer. And we will go down the list of the horrible things that Don Wells has said about his daughter. We absolutely will. So, not today. I'm not doing it today. It ain't going to happen today. But it's just, I don't know. I get frustrated. Maybe I shouldn't get so frustrated about it. But, my care meter about this missing child is at 100%. And it's always been at 100% for sure. And I could go into these creators' chats and, try to answer questions that I know the answers to, try to, and no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. If anybody wants to have a conversation about it, they can come over here. They can come over here. For real. But right now, I don't think it's about Summer. It's about Ernie. And Ernie is eating this shit up. He is eating it up. Absolutely is. Because guess what? When Lisa put out her little conversation with law enforcement, guess what that did? That gave Ernie content. Because then Ernie played it to talk about what a loser Lisa was. So now Lisa can take that and use it to talk about Ernie calling her a loser and how much of a loser Ernie is. Right? That's the way it works, people. That is the way it works. And I have a real life, and I got real life shit going on in my real life. That I can't do the rotation. But no, I got too much to fucking say. I can't say it in the chat. That's why I hardly ever go into chats. Right? But I will. We're going to pull up Remain Calm's notes. I'm going to get these fucking notebooks. We're going to go through every fucking notebook and we're going to talk about all of it. We are going to talk about all of it. What we need to do, though, is we have to kind of start at the beginning, try not to get ahead of ourselves, okay? Try to stay on topic and work our way through 5 years of a little girl missing. And it's not going to be easy. It is not going to be easy, for sure. And I cannot do it in one live. It's going to be many lives. I mean, for sure. I just can't put everything out there in one live. For real. And I'll be honest, there's a few things that I did converse with law enforcement about that, at this time, I'm not going to say specifically what I spoke with them about. Now, the thing about it was, I spoke more. They didn't say a whole lot, but they did listen to what I was saying. And I never expected a phone call back from any law enforcement agency. I am not law enforcement, and I'm not expecting a phone call back from anybody. I mean, that is just the way it is. And honestly, if anything that I conversed with them about came to fruition, I don't need a pat on the back. I don't need a pat on the back. But I do get fucking frustrated, you guys, when I see some of these fucking people that, in my opinion, from the get-go, was never there for the right fucking reason. To see some of them now, I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on here? For real. So that is what my plans are. And so y'all can come and join me if you want to or not. I am going to try to start keeping my lives to 2 hours. if we're really intense in the conversation, I might go 3. But it's became a lot for me to come on here and be on here 3, 4, 5 hours. That's just a lot for me, honestly. And I am just wiped out by the time I'm done. I am an older lady with health conditions. So, I mean, and I got a lot going on right now. I've got that kitten I'm trying to contend with, and I've got people coming in my house to fix things, and there's just a lot of craziness for me going on right now. Hell, I had a doctor's appointment today. So, but I mean, I think we all got shit going on in our real lives. For sure. She has to be found before any of the words matter. Absolutely, Sipsy. I agree. What do you mean they have to find her for the truth? I don't know what you mean, Sipsy. So are you saying that what I'm going to talk about isn't the truth? Is that what you're saying? You're going to say you're saying what I am going to talk about isn't the truth? Now, granted, I will say this. The words that have came out of Don Wells's mouth, are they truth or not truth? I do know he said them, right? What do you mean where she'll matter? Okay, I got lost, Sipsy. I don't know. If you think that I'm going to sit over here and say that Summer was sexually assaulted, I'm not going to do that. There is no proof that that is even true at all. Yeah, I ain't going to say it. I am not going to talk about those boys like that either. No way. If people want to hear stuff like that, that is kind of fucking sickening to me. That people would sit around on platforms, on social media, and behind the scenes and talk about sexual acts that could be happening to a child. That's fucking sick. That is fucking sickening. It absolutely is. And let me say this. When Marlena made that comment and that then Ernie wanted to play the audio of that man speaking about his, infiltration into the trafficking scene, Sound of Freedom, that pissed me off. That pissed me off because let me tell you what I believe. I believe they said and discussed that shit. They knew exactly what they were doing, right? And I mean, common sense is going to tell you Marlena was letting her daughter hang around 110 Ben Hill Road, right? Letting her daughter hang around 110 Ben Hill Road. I could come on here, I'm telling you guys, I could fucking tell you some shit that I've heard about Marlena. Text messages I have about Marlena. Things that Marlena wasn't doing that she should have been doing, where her daughter's concerned. Okay. I could fucking say a bunch of shit. But guess what? I don't live in Beach Creek. I don't live in that area. So I can come out here and talk shit about her and say things that I've heard or, text messages, emails, whatever. But it's hearsay. It's all hearsay. Yeah, Don Wells did, RJ. He absolutely did. And we'll get into that conversation. We absolutely will get into that conversation. Yeah, we don't know how far she got from home. We do not know how far she got from home. I think when they said where her scent ended and the dogs couldn't pick up her scent, that kind of told us what? That the possibility that she was picked up was very high. But these people still wanted to look for her in the area. And if you don't think that they were praying every day that they would find her, then I don't know what to tell people. Hey, Ellie, we had people come on. Oh, no, Sipsy, don't feel that way. Don't feel that way, Sipsy. I'm not scolding you. I was just asking because the way you put it was like you were kind of dissing me. So that's why I asked you. It didn't offend me. I mean, if that's the way you feel, that's the way you feel. I can't change the way people feel. Believe me, I am not Jesus. Plus, I got a resting bitch voice, Sipsy. Have you not figured that out? So, well, and we'll talk about that, RJ, because we have to talk about where Don Wells came from, right? Where he came from. The generational trauma, the generational abuse, and that has to be a factor in a lot of things also, right? You're fine, Sipsy. I'm sorry if you felt scolded, because I didn't mean to make you feel scolded. I truly didn't. If we go with what Fred said, there was a lot of traffic on that road that day. Yes, it's very possible someone picked her up. Very possible somebody picked her up. No doubt about it. We will also go over again what Dave Radar and Twyla have said with EquiSearch. Their words are very important. A lot of creators, I really love the stuff they put out about summer. I really do. I enjoy watching them. And, it's always such really good information. Yeah, I mean, it's sad, Sipsy, but I don't know if we'll ever know the truth. I don't know if we'll ever find the truth. For sure. And for 5 years, I've heard all these creators, oh, we need to get together. We all just need to get together and see if we can figure it out. That's not what these people want. That's not what they're wanting. For sure. It is sickening, RJ. That is, yes, the Allie's daughter at the park and what Don said about her. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, we can do it any way you guys want. If you want to start out with we'll call it the characters in the game, we can start with Dawn Wells if that's where you guys want to go. We can start with Dawn Wells. We can then go to Candace, right? Then we can go to Grandma. But I have to tell you guys, and you know, if I feel a certain way about something, it doesn't mean you guys have to feel the same way, right? Because there's a lot of things that's been said or done that I haven't found any relevance where it concerns Summer's case. That is just the way I am. But I respect everything that you guys, you know, feel about that. But no, it's absolutely sickening what he said about his daughter. Absolutely sickening. It seems all of these people are messed up people with messed up minds. Messed up people with messed up minds. And I truly do not believe that. Okay. One thing is, well, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. We will. I don't want to get into all of it today. People say crazy things. And look, I'm not calling Marlena a liar about what she's saying about all these people at all. But why all of a sudden, when she got with Ernie Shell, right? When she got with Ernie Shell, she decided that, you know, maybe he told her he was going to protect her or something. I don't know. Don threw out all these sick while discussing theories on what could have happened. He never went into such nasty detail as others. Absolutely, Flies. That's true. I mean, what he said was sick and vile, and no, he did not. There's a lot of other people who have said worse, way worse. Absolutely. But, you know, I guess I wasn't even going to really come on today. But then I heard Lisa Kay has something to say, calling law enforcement about Ernie. They already know all about Ernie. Ernie can come on social media and say all the vile shit that he wants to. He can say whatever he wants. Law enforcement cannot go to Ernie Shell and say, don't talk about Summer Wells. Don't say those horrific things about that girl. Law enforcement does not hand out tickets for morally corrupt people. Public service announcement, right? I mean, messed up people, messed up minds. That's what I've been saying for years. Right? Messed up people, messed up minds. That's just the way it is. But it does. I mean, Dawn had, Dawn really put a lot of horrific things into our minds that could have been happening to his daughter. Now, personally, I would have loved it if he would have come on and said she was beautiful, she loved this, she loved that, and even I'm like, the only thing he knew about his daughter was she liked to twirl and twirl and twirl till her arm fell off, that she loved to run behind the boys on their dirt bikes, and she loved to run behind the lawnmower, and and twirl and twirl and twirl, and she could climb up that swing rope, and even the boys couldn't do that. And we heard the same thing over and over and over, which told me, yeah, we know Don is a messed up person with a messed up mind. He said he worked all the time. Candace was the one who was taking the kids and doing most of the things with them. Absolutely. But don't fucking say something horrible about a minor child at the time and then be like, oh yeah, it was in no, it wasn't in Arkansas. Wait, it was in no, wait a minute. It wasn't in Wisconsin. It was in Utah. Right? Don didn't even get along with his fucking family in Utah. If you don't think that something like that didn't happen and they wouldn't have known about it, I don't know what to fucking tell you people. I really don't. Thank you guys for dropping all that information about Summer. TBI. Thank you, Flies, for the legitimate numbers, because I wasn't going to be going into detail. And yes, my fucking Cash App and Venmo are running on my banner. Well, I mean, she was drunk, wasn't she? Well, we can get into all that too, Sipsy. We'll get into all of it. For real. We will. Because Candace did call the police. She also called the police when Dawn was fighting around with Jose. Yeah, Josie was only around 3 months old, right? Right. Absolutely, Flies. You know what's interesting? Marlena said she knew Don Wells first. She knew Don Wells first, which would have had to have been how many years before he even met Candace, right? I don't know, though. Yes. Yeah, we're going to listen to the originals. I'm telling you guys, I'm not going to play edited shit over here. I don't want to hear edited shit. Not at all. You want to hear the originals and make your own conclusions about them, that is absolutely fine. But I'm telling you, I remember listening to the call where it was edited in about not having clothes on or some shit like that. That is not. That shit was edited fucking in there. That wasn't the original. Is it on Degens? I'll find them. I will find them as we get to them. For sure. So that's how we're going to roll over here. Either you can hang or not hang. You did my ranch. PG, why did you boot my ranch? Dang. How dare she, my ranch? I don't, L. Kennedy. We don't know that she didn't manipulate something. Or it could have been manipulated and then given to her and she put it out, right? For sure. Yes, Don and Jose were fighting. Don even said he threw a beer bottle up against the wall with those children in the house. Those children were there. Don, Jose get into it. They'd been hanging out drinking for a few days. Don throws a beer bottle at the wall, he says, right? There's more than that. There is, look, we're talking about 5 years of, manipulated clips being put out there. And so the original clips came out. Then someone takes that, manipulates it. Then someone else takes the manipulated clip and manipulates it in a different direction. So after 5 years, everybody needs to go back to the originals. Yes, RJ. That was the muzzle loader incident, right? Well, L. Kennedy, you're going to be busy, girl, because there's a lot more to come. I mean, I agree, Flies. I don't like Don or Candace just because they're not the type of people I would hang out with. But the thing about it is, there is no proof, none whatsoever, that they had anything to do with Summer going missing that day. Can I feel differently about it and, have one theory that, concerning Dawn? Absolutely, I can. I can have my opinion. I don't expect everybody to have my opinion at all. Not at all. Oh. Well, I mean, L. Kennedy, a lot of it comes down to clicks and views. And, once I watch some of these people, start their channels talking about Summer, everything was fine and dandy. And then it kept getting to the point where they wanted to be the main creator that everybody went to for their summer content, right? Oh, believe me, believe me, you know, I've got the most subs, I've got this or that. And over time, they have to try to keep that status, right? So, I mean, shit goes haywire, right? Well, I mean, Jody Sue is a fucking character in herself. A character in herself. There are many people who have came out acting like I know things, but I'm not going to tell anybody, right? I mean, I just said that myself. There's a couple things that, you know, I turned in or, you know, talked to the appropriate authorities about that I'm not going to say it out here. I'm just not. Thank you, Zena. Thank you. I appreciate you being so supportive. It means a lot. It does. Well, I mean, my ranch, I just don't unsub from people. That's just the way I am. You know, every once in a while I'll get petty and I'm like, I ain't listening to you anymore. Most of the time, if I'm subbed up to somebody, I just stay subbed up to them, right? I mean, yeah, that's the way it should be. Every conversation that you've had with law enforcement, that should be between you and law enforcement. And like I said, you can, if you talk to them and send them a tip or something, and you're truly in it for the right reasons, you are not going to expect a phone call back. Now, you might, if they need further, you know, need to ask you maybe if you have some further receipts or something like that, right? Called it enhancing. That's crazy. That is crazy. Oh my gosh, if you guys have never listened to K. Cole Carl, oh Lord, I don't know what to tell you. Enchanted Life Path. He had everybody being pedos. He went after lip lock really bad. He really did. And then they kind of got mad at me when I was on a panel with him and he kept going off about lip lock. And I'm like, Carl, I thought we were going to talk about summer. And then I was the most hated person on the planet, you know. It was edited after Carl put it out. If I remember correctly, Carl put it out, and this is what happened. This also happened with Carl because Carl put out the 911 call, and he was putting out that it said something specific in it. And I listened to it, and that is not what I heard. So I put in these comments, well, this is what I heard. And he did not fucking like that. He did not like that, right? It wasn't on it till PG played it. The panty part. No, that part did not add up, Flies. That part did not freaking add up. Hey, and you know what? It is fine if people hear different things, but I just felt like it was wrong to demand that people believe that it said what you're saying it said, right? And when I didn't hear what he was trying to put out, then man, I can't even remember what he said back to me. But I was like, damn, Cake Hole Carl, you are coming hot and heavy at me. So, and that happens a lot too, you guys. Somebody will play a clip or something, and, you know, power of suggestion, right? Yeah, Yucky was made out to be some kind of a panty comment or something. That's how fucking sick some of these people are. The only thing everyone at YouTube is the game telephone on group says this. Yeah, absolutely. Well, sometimes it doesn't matter what you say. People are going to take it, they're going to twist it up, you know, like a little tie on a loaf of bread. I don't know Al Kennedy because I looked into the shoe stuff myself. He might have been the one that found where this was fucking weird because there was a tennis shoe that came out and had missing kids on the tennis shoes. It was weird. Oh, and then you had the tap dancing. The tap dancing, and they were tap dancing in code and all that shit, right? Is that the glitchy dancer, Wise? The tap dancers, right? It's all weird. So then you got to look into, okay, wait a minute. So who put that shit out? Because that's weird shit, right? I mean, Tim Mullins put out the tap dancing shit, didn't he? You guys, I have to look. I have to look. I haven't started looking yet. My brain kind of expands and fucking gets overwhelmed with the shit. For sure. But I'm telling you right now, it seems like all these godly folks, they lie. Why y'all lying? How godly can you be to lie all day? That was my wrench. That was one of Andy's girlfriend's kid shoes. That had nothing to do with Summer. She was pissed. She found a kid's shoe in her car. It belonged to Andy's new woman. Had nothing to do with Summer. The tennis shoe that Chase and Benny and all of them kept making a big deal about was a shoe that supposedly was just laying in the yard along many other shoes. But then again, I don't know. I wasn't there. Right? Who takes a fucking tennis shoe and hangs on to a missing child's tennis shoe? That's fucking weird. If it meant anything, it would be given to law enforcement, not used as a fucking trophy. Sorry. I'm trying not to get feisty. I am. Yeah, that's where that shoe came from with Jody. That didn't have anything to do with Summer. The name of the tree in hide and go seek. What? Oh yeah, well, they've always mentioned hide and go seek, I think, right? I thought Yucky Lenny was ugly puppy until the other day. No, everybody thought that Summer called Lucky Yucky because she had a speech impediment. Candace sat over on, oh, whose panel? I can't remember if it was Daisy's. I don't remember exactly where she said this, but she said that Summer called Yucky Yucky because she kept having babies. And in the same conversation, Candace talked about doing away with the female pups. She fucking did. Right? And nobody think I'm a bitch. I have resting bitch voice and I just get really passionate. I get very passionate about these things for sure. Get feisty. The truth of what happened to Summer deserves people that are more passionate about her than the lies. Oh, I agree, RJ. I agree. And I think that's what happened too. I think a lot of people in the beginning were talking about, factual things. And we're talking about messed up people with messed up minds. Okay. We're talking about people who will just say shit to other people being fucking sarcastic because they're mad at them people or whatever, right? And then these people will put out their bullshit as fact, right? Well, anybody who feels ashamed, ABN, do you feel ashamed? I mean, I feel ashamed a little bit of different things that I've covered in her case. I'm a human being. I'm not going to I ain't taking myself out of the equation. Well, I don't know. Do you feel ashamed about anything? Right? That's what they said. That Summer called Lucky Yucky because she couldn't say Lucky. But Candace said on a freaking live that she called her Yucky because Lucky kept having babies and talked about getting rid of the female pups. I'm just saying, right? Good for you, ABN. Well, sometimes I don't remember until something kind of triggers what I'm thinking. So, what do you believe? People at first, purple was Summer's favorite color. Everybody gives Summer purple hearts and continue to do so. Marlena's like, no. What Marlena say? Pink. And then her mother comes out and says Summer loved all bright colors, right? So it's like, who the fuck said purple to start with? There ain't nothing wrong with it. A heart is a heart. It doesn't matter what color it is. I'm just saying. I lag my sister. Me too, Sipsy. I wear a 5 too. I wear a 5 also. Someone said blue. Well, I know Misty Rose, like Michael's caller, Brandy has told us Michael's caller, he has a blue heart. But there were so many people who were coming out like they knew that things were factual, and these people had never been anywhere near the state of Tennessee. That's why I've always said I am one person. I may give my opinion, and you guys always hear me say, I don't live there. Okay. I don't live there. Haven't been to Tennessee in years, probably like 30, right? I don't live there. For real. But that doesn't mean that I don't know the characteristic of mountain folk and, people live in hollers and, different little towns or whatever. My granddaddy was from Arkansas. My grandmother on my mom's side was adopted. So we're not sure about her. My brother-in-law and his family lived in a holler in Hazard, Kentucky. I went there often, loved it there, and kind of know how they were and their economics. Let me tell you guys something, and this is weird, okay? This is weird. I don't want to be TMI because it's my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law's sister had a child, and it was raised as my brother-in-law's sister. Okay, my brother-in-law's her uncle, but she was raised believing that my brother-in-law was her brother, right? And years later, well, okay. So anywho, the little girl was going to school. Now you had to walk across the swinging bridge to get to their house. The little girl was going to school. Her shoes were just a little bit too big, kind of, making her foot all red and stuff. So my sister and I went to buy her a new pair of shoes. And I was excited to give her the shoes. And they were not happy. They were not happy. I guess they took it as, I guess they kind of took it the wrong way. And I wasn't meaning it in any way to, look down upon them or anything like that. And I understood that. I did. I understood that. After the fact, I understood that for sure. So the little girl grows up. She learns that her sister is really her mother. And so thus begins the mother-daughter relationship. Well, there was a lot of addictions in that family, and her mother ended up, with addiction problems. And it was really sad because her mother ended up passing away in an automobile accident. And, it was very heartbreaking all the way around. There's been some alcoholism. One of the boys spent time in prison because him and his girlfriend were in a truck, had a riding lawnmower on the back, and she let her son sit on that lawnmower. When they went across the creek, the riding lawnmower, flipped out of the truck and pinned the boy, and he passed away. And so he did some time in prison for that. And, you know, crazy. I can tell you crazy stories. One of them was going from Indiana back to Kentucky. And I am not bullshitting you guys. He was intoxicated and he went to pass a vehicle. And when he did, he went into a cop, had somebody pulled over, and he tried to pass a vehicle on the right and ran into the back of that police car. I am not shitting you guys. Another time, he was going up the mountain and had a run-in with a coal truck. And they were surprised that it didn't unalive him then. Right? Hey, Nana Kim. I mean, and it's crazy. I've talked about before. We don't know how many children in the world are actually being born that are born and never giving birth certificates, right? We don't know. Born and not given birth certificates. They don't have Social Security numbers. We don't know how many children are being born like that. I mean, it's freaking horrible, but there are many women who are used just to produce babies. Hence, baby farms, right? Baby farms. They're not growing tobacco, right? I mean, just very true. But I do hope that, you know, I really hope before I pass away that Summer comes home. I really do. And a lot of people may be really angry if she is found safe and they return her back to Dawn and Candace, right? And I don't know, that may happen. You just don't know. You just don't know. But see, this is what gets me. They all say, like Dawn and Candace, especially Dawn, well, we came to social media because we thought it would help find our daughter. Right? But then they play games, they lie, they tell the most outrageous shit, right? Tell me, how much sense does that make? Because it quit being about Summer very quickly and turned into the Dawn and Candace show. And a lot of people didn't like the fact that Grandma Candy Hair, she wasn't playing it. Grandma didn't want to play the game. She told everybody, if you really listened, she had been through it with her daughter, Rose. She had been through all that shit with Rose. She wasn't going to play it again. One thing that did kind of give me kind of red flags with Grandma was when I can't remember if she was on Daisy's, wherever. And she was upset over people talking about Rose. And she used the opportunity to tell people quit fucking talking about her daughter, right? Quit saying shit about Rose. I just wish that she would have added Summer to that, right? But then again, what do we know on? I guess this is the thing. I guess we all look at 110 Ben Hill Road, what people tell us about 110 Ben Hill Road, and with Don and Candace acting the way that they do on social media platforms, it kind of leads us to believe that there was some fucked up shit going on at 110 Ben Hill Road, right? I mean, for real. So, what do you mean not allowed children? Nobody would take the Wells's boys, from my understanding. No one at the church would take them. And, when I think about that, I'm like, that's a shame that nobody at the church would take the boys. But look what they would be living like, right? Don and Candace coming all the time and doing what they're doing, the craziness. Mary and them said that they didn't want to have to deal with Don. And I truly believe a lot of the reason they couldn't find anybody to take the boys was because of Don and Candace. Oh, that was crazy shit, Flies. That was crazy shit. Yeah. If I remember correctly, it was her cousin, and she ended up going to jail. She ended up going to jail. For real. Yeah, that whole paperwork on that situation, that's all weird to me. That is all weird to me. Absolutely. And I've said that. Hey, Sandy, I've absolutely said that, because why, if they were investigating, well, why didn't they get their boys back? Why were they not given a chance? Well, they didn't do any of the programs either, right? Yeah, I'm not sure who it was, but I know they were involved with the cousin over there somehow. And she ended up in jail. But I can't remember what her name was. Who the fuck is Chris Larson? Who's Chris Larson? Well, I know the cousin went to jail for some reason. I don't know if it was substances. I can't remember. But the cousin went to jail. Oh, Chris, I'm sorry. Thank you, Fly. Yes, Miss Justice. That's a absolutely. Yeah, I know who you're talking about now. Why would they do? I mean, why would they do it? Two people don't need to sit and convince people that they love their boys and they would fight for their boys. And no, no, they signed them over very easily and then turned around. I think they wanted to, I think that they knew that even if they got the boys back, that CPS was going to be keeping a close eye on them. And guess what? If they still had the boys, it'd be, yeah, they couldn't do what they wanted. And the thing about it is, Don Wells can talk about CPS taking them boys. He absolutely can. And I'm not saying that that doesn't happen in real life, because it does sometimes. But, how much sense does that make? If Candace was everywhere that they have said that she was that day, all right, pictures, she's got pictures, she got all that shit, then someone would have had to have gotten her at the road. I do not believe anybody walked up that hill. I believe the possibility of somebody driving up that hill probably would make more sense. And Candace absolutely knowing who was up on that property, right? Now, could have someone came in the basement if the boys left the door unlocked. I would think that the boys would know if someone was in the basement, right? Somebody was on the hill touching the kids that day, right? Which says what? Was somebody at 110 trying to touch the kids? Or was there just one in the area? Right? And why wouldn't Jody know about that? Why wouldn't Jody know about that? If somebody was in the area trying to touch kids, wouldn't you think they'd be ringing each other? Hey, watch out. Somebody in the area trying to touch kids. Don't let your kids out. Who do we know was out in that area that day? I mean, Jody and her son were out checking property lines, right? If I remember correctly. Crime of opportunity. I mean, children can walk away and go a lot further than people think that they would. But what I always remember in Summer's case was, barefooted or not, if she was out in a field or out in the woods and it became dark outside, how would she have kept on walking? Especially if she's scared easily. Now, for some reason, I don't think that she was as scared of, things like they say she was. I think that she absolutely wandered around that property. They had all lived there their whole lives, basically. For sure. Uh, uh, well, I don't know. I'll have to check, Flies. You got me questioning it now. Seriously. I'm going to try to find that. But there's a lot of things that Jody's not saying either, you guys. I mean, she said that from the very beginning, that she knew things that she wasn't going to tell anybody else. But yet she'll say things like, I'm still looking for the puzzle piece, right? The thing about it is, not knowing what happened, it could be something that none of us ever, ever, ever even thought about. Never even thought about. Somebody could have accidentally hit her and freaked out and put her in the car and, took her and, right? Yeah, tell LE for sure. But, I mean, honestly, what Ernie's doing and saying, and, his little cohorts, that doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me. For real. I mean, at first you kind of feel bad for some of them people because you're like, Ernie's a manipulator and these people are soft hearted, right? That's what you want to believe. And then after like 4 years, you're like, oh my God, what the fuck is wrong with you people, right? Seriously. Seriously. You go, Xena. No. No way. Another few hundred. Damn. Well, they are pretty big dogs. $800 plus. Send me another picture. We need an update, Xena. We need an update. Last time we seen them, they was puppies. For sure. But look, you guys, everybody from that area, either they had CPS on them all the fucking time, or, they were doing math and seeing shadow people and manufacturing it. And, this is what gets me. How do you go around and be like, yeah, I manufactured math. Yeah, I was slinging dope. Yeah, I was selling dope that day. How the fuck are you all right with that? And then you want to text somebody and fucking cry around because your wife's daughter is of age and she's doing things that might get you in trouble, right? It's like, come the fuck on, dude. Now, granted, marijuana will get Fred in trouble, okay? For sure. People really didn't show the trap houses in the area. And finally, people started showing trap houses in the area. And they're everywhere. They'll go around from trap house to trap house and manufacture shit out of the trap house. They're going to get by with it as long as they can. I mean, did Summer see something that day that she shouldn't have seen? I don't know. Could that be something? Maybe. Maybe. The whole area was, well, I don't want to say everybody. I don't want to put bad vibes and ugliness on good people, because there is good people. There is good people. And let me tell you guys, in an area like that, you may have, Larry the Lush. Likes to drink a lot. Maybe just moseys around and everybody knows who he is. It doesn't mean that they did something inappropriate to a child, right? And let me tell you, not all crackheads touch children. You know who I would think would do that? The drug that I believe would cause something horrific to happen in a lot of places is fucking math, right? Look into it if you need to. Google that shit. People who do math, they have this, I don't know. They do nasty shit. +40 RSO in that area. That's horrific. That's something said about said something. Jay, who is that? Yeah, the ones that they knew about, the registered ones. That's true, Carrie Lawson. Not all trap houses look like trap houses. But let me tell you something. If there's people living in a building and they have the windows boarded shut, okay? Yeah, what's that tell you? They're not fucking vampires. They're not afraid of the light. Animalistic sound. Candace realized summer is gone. Well, and I may be wrong, right? Hey, plot twist. Yes, we are in the US. We have people from the UK that hangs out. So this is the thing. Okay. Hold on. Okay, so why were you getting excited? Are you 18? See the title? It says 18 plus. You're only allowed over here if you're 18 plus. I believe it's milk in the milk jug. Well, I believe, spread love, that Summer fell asleep against the damn milk jugs. My daughter fell asleep standing beside me one day on the couch. I was sitting on the couch and she was standing there and she fell asleep. For sure. I mean, seriously. You know what interests me about the shopping trip? For sure. Maybe she got the milk somewhere else. Who knows? It was the picture of the meat. The picture of the meat and who she sent it to. I want to know if Dawn's got the picture of the meat. Who the fuck did she send the picture of the meat to? You're not going to take a picture of meat and not send it to anybody. That, my friends, is weird. Very weird. Well, I listened to a forensic pathologist that was on duty, Ron's, and we'll listen to her again. She studied the picture and gave her opinion. Not today, plot twist. Thank you, Carrie. So, I think the timeline is important. After Candace dropped Hunter off. See, you have to realize there was a picture out, and I'm getting ready to get off here, you guys. There was a picture out that was put out on, was it Facebook or something? I can't remember. And it showed one of the boys in his little riding outfit, and it looked like Summer's arm in the background, right? So that would have been after the milk jug video and Candace getting home at 6:09. So I don't know if the picture was taken before and then just released and put out, but it is there too. I mean, for sure. Plot twist. I was getting ready to get off here, but catch me another time. I'll let you up on panel. Don't be thinking you're going to porn bomb me or anything, okay? I'm not doing that. Yeah, 6:09. $6:23 first call, and Candace said she'd been looking 10 minutes. Make that make sense. Make all that make sense. Please do. Or twist the plot. That is funny, Sandy. For sure. Jamaican. Yeah, they eat oxtail. I don't know. It ain't that she took a picture of the meat. I want to know who received the meat. Who got the meat picture? It wasn't Grandma. Grandma was sitting right there and could see the real thing. Right? Why take a picture of a piece of meat that you're going to take home? Or did she even buy it? Was she just taking a picture of it to send somebody to show, like, look at this meat? Right? That photo was updated and quickly deleted. Night, Zena. Thank you. I appreciate you. And thank you for gifting the memberships. I appreciate that. All right, you guys. I am going to get my ass off here, but, you know, we will get into some serious conversations. I'm not telling you that I have anything, but I think if we kind of look at everything, that's all we can do. That's all we can do. So how can you share a link? Oh, you would have to be a mod, plot twist. Is that what you're wanting? Hold on. Hold on, I'll help you. Let's see what you got. Hold on. Let me get over to your channel. Let me see what you talk about. Let's see what you got going on. You only got one subscriber? I think you're a troll. So, I don't know. It does, you don't even have what you talk about. You don't have anything on your about page. Fill out your about page. Other than that, right? Shall I just post it? No. J-Dub, why are you telling them how to do it? Most of, oh yeah, there's a bunch of us blocked. I think she's had me blocked forever. Yeah, she don't like me. For real. All right, I'm getting off here. But I appreciate you guys. I'm glad we had the conversation. And, you know, like I said, I just want to have some conversation, mellow conversation. I just don't want to make shit up. I just, you know, there's just, and I keep telling people, there's so many things that could have happened that, you know, some of these people are really adamant on Dawn, right? Dawn and Candace. But, you know, I don't think that, because see, we all thought that Marlena and Candace were mad at each other. If that was the case, why would Candace call Marlena? Whether it was 4:30 or 7:30, right? Oh, she won't put the pieces together because she has you all blocked. Well, some people just don't care what other people have to say. My wrench, for real. You are a troll. You admitted it. Wow. Hold on a minute. Dang. Hey. Respect. Respect for sure. Hold on. You get something special. As soon as I find it. I'm kind of slow today. Congratulations. Be my friend and welcome to the UK. Well, you welcome to Remain Calms. For real. Thank you, Spread Love. Okay, thank you, Flies. Thank you, Carrie, for hanging out with me this long. We are going to get back into this conversation and just hang on to your hats. Bring your wisdom, okay? Bring your wisdom and some common sense with you. You have to have that for class. You understand? And hey, we'll get back into it for sure. But I do want to say, I don't know what I want to say. All right. All right. Oh, hang on. Let me check my email. Let's see Xena, I'm telling you, if these dogs are huge. Last time we seen them, they were puppies. Okay, hold on. Come on now. Oh, hang on. She's 12 months and 98 pounds. Oh my God, I'm in love. Hold on, I'm going to share it. That dog's freaking bigger than I am. Yeah, I couldn't handle a big dog like that. Hold on. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, degenerate. I can't even say it. What's up, degenerate? What is up? So absolutely, we'll get into it. Degenerate, you keep putting your stuff out. I keep watching it. I was going to talk about something that you had out, and I ended up not talking about nothing. Just some summer stuff. But look, I'm not telling you not to get, get into the excitement a little bit. If you feel you need to go in Ernie's chat and tell him exactly what you think about him, you go for it. Now, I do not incite violence over here, but hey, freedom of speech, right? If you feel like he is a piece of shit, feel free to say it so, right? So, I'm glad you fell asleep, May May. Now, I have things to do, but yes, I will schedule the live where we're going to talk about Summer's case and will we make sense of some things? Maybe. Will we? Maybe not. Probably. That happens. No arguing, no bickering, no fighting. I agree with telling him, heck yeah. That is what gets me. Yeah. I mean, he's like, degenerate. Ernie, yeah, he doesn't like you for sure. For sure. That's the thing. I got too much to say. I got too much to say. And then I find myself sitting here typing my ass off in chat. And I'm like, ugh, I get frustrated. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of drama. But why would you say horrific things about a child? And why would you say that you are going to go around and cause other people drama just because you're a fucking asshole and telling them you're going to call CPS on all of them? I mean, come the fuck on. Come the fuck on. And you know what? Ernie won't have to, because he'll convince those individuals right over there. You're not blocked, plot-wise. You're not blocked. You know. All right, I'm getting my ass off here. And I will schedule everything. So yeah, we're gonna get into it. We are gonna get into it. Yeah. Yeah, if you were blocked, you wouldn't be able to chat. You're a damn troll. You know what you're doing. Okay, I'm going to get my ass off here. I will talk to you guys later. Thank you, Flies. Thank you, Carrie. Thanks, Mr. A, for popping in. Our mascot pops in, you know. If you put the link out, I will jump up and give you a link for a Ucoot. Why don't you send it to my email? Well, no, don't send it to my email. If you come up on my channel, you can't put a link out anyway. You can look. You need a book on trolling, okay? All right, I'm getting off here. I will check you out later. Have a good one, guys. Be you, do you, and like I said, definitely be you, okay? All right, peace out, guys.